This is video 2, the answer video in my ZZZ Zero Q&A video series, answering the questions from my beautiful, perfect YouTube and Discord members. First, let me say hi, my name is Zone Zero Hero, and I do ZZZ Zero Theories, Lore, and more videos quite a bit. So if that's something you're into, hit that subscribe button, like, share, comment, all that fun stuff. Send out a big digital hug and I will send one right back, because that's why we do this, for the love of the game and the love of the community. I'm excited for this one, so let's just do it. Let's get into answering these questions right now. Our first question comes from Swagbot. Swagbot says, mild spoilers. Yep, we know. That's what this channel does. If you're here, you should expect big spoilers. That's okay, that's kind of what we're all about. With Billy Kid being based on the real-life outlaw, Billy the Kid. What do you think will cause Billy to become the outlaw again? Also, how did we get confirmation of Bang Boo blah 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 before S-Rank Billy? That is a great question. If you don't know what I'm talking about, don't worry about it. Let's just say Bang Boo are naughty and the devs are even worse. Yeah. I have very little doubt that eventually we will see an S-Rank Billy. What in the story could cause him to go outlaw again? Well, a lot of things, but I think generally his place in life right now is with the cutting hairs. He's latched onto them like a wet blanket. And if anything were to happen to one of them, we definitely would see a dramatic personality shift. Additionally, when we do see an S-Rank Billy, we will no doubt get a backstory for him explaining just what is up with his jaded and violent past. If you're unaware, Billy is strong. Quite a bit stronger than he lets on. Go back and watch the cutscenes at the beginning of the game and you'll see he's kind of faking it. He's not even trying. And one day sooner than later, I think, we will get that S-Rank version and see just how strong Billy really is. The second question is asked by a longtime friend of the channel, Nick. Can hollows form in the ocean? And if so, do you ever think we'll get the chance to visit one underwater? I love this idea. But the only evidence that we have of a hollow and the ocean interacting is the Port Elpis Hollow, which is very visible from the docks and seems to be situated directly in the water. There could be an island there, perhaps, similar to the Limnian Hollow. We do, however, have a record of a hollow in the sky. Lady Sunbringer is famous for completely eradicating that one all by herself. And it seems like a hollow could take form anywhere, possibly even underground. So I'm gonna say yeah, I think a hollow could form underwater. And the idea of that kind of makes me excited. I look forward to seeing what the devs will do with something like that. Maybe Bell and Wise fall into a big green pipe like Mario and end up underwater in a hollow. They've already kind of done this with Genshin Impact and the Fontaine area, so it's not so far of a stretch to think that Zinless will do the same, or something similar. Third question comes from Canis Fabico. I love that name. Why don't we have any other Oni in New Eridu besides Sakaku? Not even in the Outer Ring. Sometime before and during the fall of the Old Capital, the Oni were pushed out and eradicated in New Eridu area, largely due to fear and racism. This tragic fact is because humans are afraid. Oni are pretty much superior to humans in nearly every way. Seems like the only thing that they lack is numbers. After the fall of the Old Capital and the downfall of the Oni, there are very few numbers left in New Eridu. But the real reason I feel that we haven't seen many Oni, or other races for that matter, is because the devs just simply haven't gotten there yet. Thiren. Thiren are what's hot right now. Thiren are what's hot in the streets. But one day soon, I really do feel that the other races, like Banshees, possibly vampires, Onis, even the angel race beings, will be explored much more heavily. And when the Oni see their time of limelight, you can bet Sakaku will be at the center stage, probably for a backstory telling. I could see that fitting in nicely. And Yanagi too. Oh, Yanagi, my love. Question number 4, Downhill 18. Can the new sacrifices survive outside the hollows? I think the very quick and simple answer to this is yep, they can. Sacrifices in their nature are meant to do just that. The Exaltists are plotting very evil things, and the sacrifices are right in the middle of that plot. Their intention is to hollowify the world, and they're going to start by eradicating humankind. And in the most messed up way to do that, they've decided to build ethereals that can exist outside the hollows. Even though we've thwarted their plans a few times, they really seem to be succeeding in upgrading their technology of ethereal baddies. This is going to be the storyline for 2.0 and probably on into 2.3 as we learn more about the Exaltists and their true goals. So expect bigger and badder sacrifices to come. My friend Fomix2 asked the very bold question, did Thirens come into existence when a desperate single guy saw a cat and said, good enough? We're all thinking it and he just says it. I mean, I'm not gonna say no, but probably not. Honestly, I have no idea where Thirens come from or why they exist. I think genetically it's a mystery to be solved, but honestly it's just because Gooners. Because the developers know what the player base want, and we want hot cat girls. I really hate to say it, I like to think of myself as a sophisticated person, but Zenless got me. They got me. The devs just know. The devs just know what's up. Question number 6 from Voyage to a New Era. Does ether only corrupt carbon-based objects? Intelligent constructs have carbon in their logic cores. If it's only the logic cores that are corrupted, then it's safe to say that the proxy's ether manipulation is just them manipulating carbon. This is it. This is why we do it, boys. This is the deep stuff. This is the deep dive stuff. This is a very deep question, and I could go on and on about it, but I'll keep it kind of simple for the sake of time. Yes, ether corrupts carbon. Yes, ether corrupts everything biological, and possibly at a slower rate, even things that aren't biological. However, the proxy's ether manipulation is just that. They manipulate ether. You can think of ether as an element on the elemental table. Even though it's a fictional element, it still kind of applies in the realm of science. Zenless science. If you think of it as such, it's not too heavy to grasp the concept. Ether is not as tangible as other elements. I guess the closest form you could think of it as some sort of gas, due to it largely being manipulated by sound and frequency. So generally, no, I don't think so. I don't think that the proxies manipulate carbon. Same for Yixuan. Her ink that she manipulates to do her attacks is just that, it's ink. It's ether infused, which basically just means the element of ether is infused into the ink, and then she manipulates the ether inside of the ink and hit you with it hard. But that's not to say that the proxies don't have a lot more up their sleeves, because I really feel that they do. I'm hoping Zenless goes far into development because I really want to see where the proxies end up. Will they be on the level of the other agents in the game? Possibly even Void Hunter level one day? Can't wait to find out. Moving on to question number 7, Stephanie Dorr 3836. Has miasma always been a thing in lore, or did they just pull it out of their booties for convenience? In the story of Zenless, miasma is kind of a new thing. However, I do feel that it has been a concept in the story from the beginning. It seems that the story was always going to revolve around the sacrifices and the Exaltist Order. And in order to have those sacrifices, they need the miasma, which is largely based around mental properties. Think of it more like ether poisoning that drives you crazy and makes you controllable. So yeah, for the current story to work, miasma had to pretty much always be a thing in lore from the beginning. Our final question, question 8, Cat of Chaos. Why Ambi is best for Bell? This seems like a rhetorical question, but it's really not. If you look at it through the lens of ZZZ Lore, everyone's got their own headcanon. And that's not a mistake. That's what happens when gacha games are done well. The characters interact in such a way that you could really see Wise with just about anybody, and you could pair Bell with anybody as well. This is generally because all of the characters are so lovable, and the protagonists are so flexible and likable. So, why is Ambi best for Bell? Technically, Bell is best for everybody, and so is Wise. It's really all up to you and your headcanon. Personally, my favorite ship is Yanagi and that Zone Zero hero guy. Those two are meant for each other. That's 8 burning ZZZ lore questions that had to be answered. Thank you infinitely from the bottom of my heart for interacting and being a part of my small community. And also, thank you for watching. That means just as much to me as well. You guys are awesome. You're literally the reason I do this. So proxies and bang boos, keep being awesome. And I'll see you in New Eridu.
Are you ready?